There you go. Yeah, so I think obviously you asked me about this as well, Tom. Obviously the structure on US
Yeah,
30. Um, so obviously Mr. Blundell was trying to buy from this here.
yeah,
From here, I think it was. I think he'd spotted this trend line
yeah,
or something along them lines. But I posted obviously there's a trend line in here that I think he must have been trying to buy it like two half two between two and a half two, I guess. Because obviously I posted this and basically said like obviously if you see liquidity, obviously he didn't spot it or he don't know what it is, either. It could be both. But obviously if you spot liquidity, then if your entry is anywhere near, I mean, never in my life have I used that size stop loss. I don't know why it automatically does that. Oh, it's fucking annoying. But let's say Stephen was trying to sell from there, obviously trend line's created. If your stop loss is not way below this trend line, obviously you're pretty much guaranteed you're going to lose. Yeah. Obviously, the only unguarantee is that it might not happen yet, but if price will eventually pass beyond that. So, but obviously it created liquidity both sides, multiple trend lines, and then it swept it, and then we get a good push away. See, I was watching this closely because I would have sold from here if that wick here would have taken this low first. Oh, pardon me. So there was no breaker structure because obviously you can see it's there, and then test it. Obviously fills any whatever imbalance is left in that low over there, but just doesn't take it. So yeah, that would have been perfect place to have sold from. Should we have had a should it have taken that low there? But I mean, it didn't, so it's irrelevant. But it'd have been a real nice trade, and it's gone literally to the zone that caused obviously this structure high. This is the cause of that one being taken. I think. Yeah, equal highs. Maybe claim it's there, but there's such a big push here, so it would have been probably me take profit area should I have taken it, but obviously I called it early on as well about it possibly selling off anyway. I mean I didn't think it'd come that low straight that quick, I guess. No one would have, but
that was the Trump imposing the tariffs on China, wasn't it?
yeah, yeah, Friday afternoon. Um,
Wiped out a load of crypto
would have been
traders.
nice. Would have been nice. Just gonna turn my volume up, mate, 'cause I'm struggling to hear now talking.
I think that might have been Tom being
Yeah.
quiet.
I've seen a post like
Can't hear you, mate.
how can you not? Fuck knows.
No, barely.
God knows. Don't worry.
Obviously, as you can see here, this is a decent imbalance zone. You'd have maybe stuck. I mean, if it met other people's rules, so you'd have stuck. You'd have maybe gambled on the put an entry on them both. I suppose I like this one as well because you get a little bit of a push up. Like, so you got technically a BPR, you know, there, and then obviously that continues to push away. But yeah, so good little zone there for.
Is that what it tapped?
Yes, mate. Yeah, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, people often ask me why not this one. Like I say, normally I'd have. I mean, I picked this one as the right one in through back testing. Um, but yeah, I think the decent push up having a BPR, I suppose, is technically a bit better than just a bit of a push away. Whereas obviously we if this price action here,
Yeah, and that high takes it takes a bit of liquidity as well, doesn't it?
Yeah, so
You got a
if
tiny imbalance that's
no
left there.
extend. So that price action here cancels out any BPR in this zone here. So obviously
Yeah,
if that middle price action wasn't there, that would be your BPR.
right.
So and I think that's maybe why it doesn't quite come up to fill this because of this price action in between. It's I mean it's always gonna be why one zone over another's I think is always going to be a question that I'm not fully going to have an answer for because yeah, I think we spoke about it before. It's always the one question there's a little bit of uh witchcraft or something as to why one over the
Yeah,
other. I guess I just think it's going to be one of them questions that maybe I'm never going to be able to answer.
fair
But
enough.
but like I say, if all your other rules are met, then you know it's worth taking a punt on a couple of areas sometimes. Um, but yeah, that's as you can see, it taps it perfectly, and then obviously it's done 115 an hour since, so it's worth a couple of goes,
Yeah.
couple of 1% to risk to gain 115 to your account would be nice. Is there any questions by the way, guys? Because I'm just waffling on here. I am going to get to Euro GBP in a minute because I'll fully admit I've stuffed up, I think. Um, but the bright side is I'm not gay, so um, we'll get to it. You could.
You're telling me you could have got out for a profit.
Oh yeah, I could have got
But
off on
that
that.
was it's too easy to take a profit. You'd sooner let it return to break even, yeah.
Yeah,
Just for
yeah,
the sake of an emoji.
yeah, yeah. That's pretty much what it is. I thought, oh, I fucked up here, and then I was thinking, should I take it out? I was thinking, oh, someone might call me gay though.
What are they gonna say? What are they gonna say, those guys?
Yeah.
No, most of them I've never met.
Oh, Ellen says I'm still gay anyway, fuming now.
Yeah,
Should could have at
indeed.
least had some money.
Yeah.
So, I'll tell you.
You
Go on, mate. Go.
it's not important. Go on.
I was just gonna sort of like explain how and why I fucked up. So obviously I've
You
been in
should have
this.
sorry, go on. Yeah.
Yeah, I was just gonna say. Obviously, I've been in this trade for it was a week and something was it? Well, still in it. So yeah, 9 days, 10 days. Sorry. Um. So yeah, I was in that. I've been in that for a while. I actually had my TP. It's only just missed it. It's just set at the 45 here. And the reason I set it there is because I was going to buy from this zone here. And stupidly, maybe not. We'll see. We'll see what happens this week. Um, because technically, I'm going to go off a tangent here slightly, but we've possibly been making some form of structures. Now, whether this is a structure or I'm hoping it goes from this low to that high and down to there. I'm hoping that's what the structure is. Technically, we're still in this range if we are. Now, I'm hoping it's this one because this is just such a big push, and I'm hoping that this is just a correction, and that's why I'm hoping it's the blue one and this is a pullback and it'll continue lower. Time will tell. I'm sure we'll find out over the next couple of days. But so what obviously because I left it and I wanted it to hit TP, and as you can see, I think it reached about 43 44, so 44-ish. So the other side of the market. So I think I've said for a while now that I actually think it's going to take this high, and what we have here is possibly I don't think I've really got it marked up very well, but I'll mark it up now. So we've got this zone here, 4-hour point of interest. I think it's marked on the 2 maybe. Not really that relevant as such, but obviously there's a trend line here that's the cause of being taken. And it also eventually leads to this major high being taken here. So a good zone. Yeah. So from there, obviously zone was created, price is doing its structure thing, going up. It's come back down, tapped into my zone. Yeah. As you can see, this is 15. I'll just turn this 15-minute structure brighter so you can see. Yeah, so from obviously the area that I sold from, obviously it's come back, broken 15 to the downside here. Obviously it's downtrending, so we get a high, low, lower high, lower low, lower high, higher high, sorry. So here, obviously this area I'm getting basically the same setup on both sides of the market. But I'm anticipating that the high is going to be the overall move. This is just the sell down is the sell into the overall buy is what I'm hoping, because I think we are major bullish, but we will see. So basically, what I was anticipating is so we have. Let's admit someone. So I was wondering if, obviously, we tap back in here, we then get a 50-minute breaker structure from. Now, this is where the let me start that again. So price comes back, we break 15-minute up here, so we need a 15-minute zone. So somewhere from the low, possibly up to there, is a 15-minute zone. So it's 15, because this is possibly something in here is what causes this 15-minute high to be taken. So we get a 15-minute break structure there. Obviously, prices come back. Now, and obviously I was trying to buy from that zone. Technically maybe a touch early. I think I've maybe got structured. I don't want to do that. Yeah. So obviously this still might be valid, which is what I'm hoping. But anyway, price breaks 15, comes back. Obviously I thought it was going to tap this entry, but so I was trying to buy from here a while back, a few weeks ago. Now that missed, but obviously as you can see, let me just bar replay there. So I thought that had tapped it and played out, but this is spread hour. So that's spread hour. So as far as I'm concerned, this didn't happen, which is why I was hoping my TP was going to be just above this zone. I was hoping it was going to tap into that and then obviously buy back up. So I was pretty much hoping my sell would close and then my buy would pretty much open minutes later and it would then do this. But it didn't. So like I say, we've been about 43 hour. We're currently sitting at nearly 25-ish. Obviously, these are all the risk to reward stuff. But we'll see. We'll see. What I'm hoping now maybe is, I mean, I'll probably get called gay for this, but I think we've possibly had the 1 minute break anyway. So as long as price don't take me out, I'll probably maybe move my TP to where I think the buy will happen in somewhere in this price action here. But hopefully it will just come and tag this entry and go do its thing. So I do still think that's live. So it's probably worth marking that up. I'll show you the zone as well. Oh, I'll just play a few candles so you can.
You reckon there's a good chance it'll come back and tap that, yeah?
Yeah, I do. I'm leaving my pending on, mate. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think it's. But as you can see, the reason obviously I believe it's a good zone is because, or maybe that's a touch late actually. Um, yeah, I think I've messed that up actually. But as you here, you see obviously there's a good trend line.
Yeah, got
There's a
taken
sweep.
there.
There's a break up here. It just now that I'm looking again, the entry might have been this from this zone in here because obviously it breaks it there. So technically, the entry from that trade that I was is maybe in from here. So I might have balls up there as well. To be fair, but yeah, I'm leaving it on anyway. That's the yeah. Yeah, I think that's possibly the entry. Should have been the actual entry there anyway. Unless it's obviously going to come back for it soon again, like I say. But yeah, that's spread out. That don't count. I don't think that happened. So yeah, that's where we're at with Euro GBP anyway. Like I say we'll see in the week, but I've got hope basically until it takes this high. I think until it takes that, I'm still hopeful that this is the structure. Did I show you that imbalance? That it's
No, yeah.
oh yeah, that's what I replayed it for, wasn't it?
There's markup in the channel, though, isn't there?
This is what, sorry.
You did it. You put it in the channel, didn't you?
Yeah, not this one. No, I don't think
Okay.
this one. I'm still hoping gets tagged. Let's see from there, mate. So decent push away from there.
Cool. Thanks for watching.
Yeah, no. Like I say, the possible entry is from the one that I've maybe ballsed up is from something in this, by the looks of it. Push up there, maybe. That fills that one. You don't really get any more created till that one there. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, that maybe should have been my entry if I had it marked up properly. But you know, if that's where the original entry is, then usually there's a zone above that it's maybe you want to come back for. It's just I think it's a structure low as well, so obviously it's a 15. I've got it as max a 15-minute low as well from that sort of area, unless it comes real deep. But because of the trend line, the sweep, and then the break to the outside, that's what I think it's going to do, and then I think it's going to continue to the upside. Time will tell. Time will tell. Any questions, peoples? I'm gonna swig on me coffee. No?
No, it's cool. Thanks. I'll see if I can break it down tomorrow.
Yeah, no worries, mate. I'll delete a couple of these. So yeah, at the minute I'm not gay. Anyway, that's the basis of
Yeah,
this.
hold out. You prove the world. You prove to the world.
Yeah. It's like a stupid. Obviously, if I lose, I'll be.
You started it, Lee.
And I know,
You
yeah,
started
it's
it.
my own, and fully aware it's my own doing. Fully aware. Um, but yeah.
Take your pain like a real man.
Yeah, it's beyond stubbornness, but um, it'll be a good
I was
story anyway,
laughing at
won't it? It's
us,
good.
going, bloody men, idiots.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, as you can see as well.
Women don't run in front of machine guns and have fights in pubs.
No, because they're
At
bored.
least they don't in
Because they're
Surrey.
boring.
They don't in Surrey.
Yeah, well, yeah.
That'd be why.
Because you
That's,
can,
that's what I say to Mai when she goes, "Oh, you." I go, look, the world is full of boring men. If you want one of
yeah,
them, go and get one.
yeah. So what I suppose, obviously, now I've had another quick look while we was talking. Then, obviously, I said that I'm hoping that this is the actual structure high, and as we can see, obviously, it's obviously put a new low in. I'm hoping this is a new, say, 1 minute or 15 minute high, but the imbalance that it's tapped in here is a very nice looking imbalance as well. So, sort of talking myself into obviously leaving it as is. Obviously, you see here we've got a nice bit of BPR here going on. So, BPR there. So, I mean, if I was trying to sell from this area anyway, my entry would be, my entry would have been there anyway. So, and as you can see, it tapped it lovely. Yeah, there. So yeah, hopefully it's still going to go down. But it's testing, very testing. Um, like I say, Wednesday onwards, because that was a big pullback. It's a very big pullback. But anyway, that's enough of my worries. Um, I mean, I'm okay. I'm fully okay with whatever it does anyway, and I suppose that maybe that's because like the actual percentage at a risk is very small anyway, so it don't really matter, you know. It's not, and I don't view the money on MT that I see on MT5. I don't view that as my money until I press close trade anyway. So yeah, I'm not attached to it, so it's all good. It's all good. Um, but yeah, maybe a fuck up. Maybe a fuck up. Uh, right. So don't really think I've seen anything else all week. So obviously I've been on a handover last week, which I got done Saturday. So I've not actually had much chat time. So I don't actually know what's going on in the world other than there was stuff on Friday. Um, so if there's no questions, guys, I'll just have a bit of a flick through, I guess.
Yeah, cool.
I was looking at DAX. Can you hear me better now?
Yes, mate. Yeah, slows bear.
Now, I was looking at DAX earlier recently.
Hmm.
I don't think it pulled back as deep as you guys, you and George, and that had it marked. But I had a 4 hour zone which it pulled back into, and then I had a 15-minute zone create,
Hmm.
and then just the 1 minute never fucking happened. It just went.
So you're on about from here, yeah.
Let's have a look. So I had so my 4 hour would have been. Let's have a quick look at your chart. Open up my screen so we can see you better. Yeah, so my 4 hour zone was obviously marked higher than yours is.
Hmm.
And that low that we can see which is your red low on the right.
Yeah,
Okay, that was so obviously my structure was marked a bit different.
hmm,
So this low, just where it says 15-minute POI,
yeah,
that red low there,
yeah,
that had tapped my 4 hour low because
yeah,
I'd gone from the left of I'd gone from the next low to the left. That was my
yeah,
my red zone, so to speak, right?
yeah, hmm,
And then I was looking at 15-minute structure from there,
hmm,
from that area, and looking at the 15-minute structure, which obviously has been obliterated.
yeah,
So I've got a 15-minute zone,
yeah,
and now effectively I'm waiting for it to pull back to that 15-minute. And
yeah,
I think this is the thing is like with structure, right? It's so everyone views it so different, don't they?
yeah,
Let me just have a quick look on my chart, see what I marked. I don't know if it tapped 150 because my structure might have been marked different to what you've got there. Let's have a
Yeah,
look. DAX, right, okay. Yeah, so I mitigated that. Yeah, so this is it. So your change of, so I had my change of character for the 15 minute. In fact, it hasn't gone back to it yet. Hasn't
yeah,
gone back to 15 anyway. So realistically, I'd like to see the DAX this week like continue pulling back. I don't know if it's going to or not, but I'd like to
yeah,
see quite a big retracement on this now
yeah,
to come deeper.
yeah.
Let's have a look at my 15 minute. So my 15-minute zone, okay, is that if I just give you the candle date. So if we look at on the 25th of September,
Yeah.
Thursday the 25th of September, and if we look to the left of that, we've got a trend line which is tapped on the 18th of September. It's tapped on the 22nd of September, and the third tap is on the 25th of September. Let me just open up your.
Above or below?
Sorry, let me
Above.
open up your chart, so mate, because I'm looking at mine, looking at yours. So, sorry, below. So we've got the
So just let me
go to the 15 minute and then zoom out a bit. Right, so we've got so if we mark where are we? Okay, so you've got three touches on. So just go a bit higher, mate. To your right, a bit higher. Right, that's it. That candle there.
yeah,
It touches that next one to the right, and then it touches again over there. I think we've got a trend line there.
yeah. Looks
So
good to me, mate.
we've had a sweep on that on the 15 minute.
It's a touch short here, then, mate. I'm carry on
Uh,
anyway, but yeah, it's
right,
just a
yeah, yeah.
touch
So that
short.
might that
So
might be a feed difference
yeah, yeah,
because the feed that I've got on is pretty much touched it.
yeah,
So, but I'm saying like, yeah, yeah. I think if you flick through the different feeds, I'm sure some of them have probably touched it and
yeah, yeah,
might have gone through it anyway. But yeah, so from that, obviously, I then created a 15-minute point of interest.
yeah, yeah. Makes
I drew my 15-minute zone from that low to the 15-minute imbalance, which you've got pretty much drew there.
yeah, yeah. So I think
Okay.
it's probably worth asking George on this because obviously, if your feed's bang on there, like George would have marked this one, I'm sure, because he
Yeah.
likes the order block that obviously he likes it to take liquidity and
Yeah.
the opposite way. So I'm sure George would have marked this one,
Yeah.
meaning that the zone's still the same, but
So just right. So basically, then, based on that zone that I pointed out there for 15-minute point of interest,
mhm.
what point would you say your 15-minute structures broke from that?
Uh,
Because
so
you're still because how you've got your structure mark, you've got quite a big swing on that structure.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, I would view this would be my one, but like I said the other day, the
Yeah.
time frame you put on it doesn't matter,
Yeah,
but
because
it would be this
what I
point
kind
here.
what I kind of do is when it breaks a new low,
Hmm.
like not like a small low, when it takes a relevant quite a big low, then I just go to the next relevant high
Yeah,
from that low.
yeah,
That's kind of how I mark my structure. So your green line that you just drew there, then
yeah,
what you just put across, that's my structure break
yeah,
from a 15, which we've had
yeah,
obviously break now. So. So let's just say for argument's sake, that's how I've marked my structure anyway. So
yeah.
that 15-minute green line. So
Hmm.
do you still, if for how you're trading then, would you mark your 15-minute point of interest from that box that I've got, or would you be moving it up to that low there on the right hand side of it? That's the pullback before it got taken, the small
Yeah.
pullback.
So it's theoretically should be that could
Yeah,
because
yeah,
it could, as far as I'm concerned, from obviously that low up
yeah,
until the point in which it takes the green line.
yep,
So in technically though, the just
yeah.
let me
It could be as high as that.
it could be as high as that. Yeah, because obviously it
Yeah,
takes it there at that point.
which is obviously quite a big zone
It's a
to
really big zone. So
huge. It's not great. It's not ideal, is it really?
yeah, but then
Because
obviously what you've done is obviously you've also highlighted liquidity that is very possible, obviously swept, then continues or whatever. So we're using liquidity and other conformations and lower time frame structures as well to obviously then say go, but there's a real big imbalance here because obviously we
Yeah.
know it's going to come back for imbalance. So
'Cause-
if you can have imbalance in all these, but if you see the best looking one from here and it's below this liquidity, then your zone wants to be below that liquidity is passed. So
Yeah.
rather than it being up here,
Yeah.
like I say, it'd be about there.
Yeah.
You might price might come down here and get a reaction, and you might get obviously you could get a decent move from it. But what I'm trying to teach, I suppose, is I'm trying to catch the last point in the market that as the low as it's going to come.
Yeah.
So if you get a sell from, let's say you might get one from up here, but I don't think that's the overall move because I do think it'll come lower. I think
Yeah.
it's sort of got to come lower before it
I think there's
eventually.
still liquidity sat below
Yeah,
where you've marked there. I still think there's liquidity that it will come and take.
yeah, yeah.
Uh,
Because I don't believe. I mean, if I extend, say, that trend line, because I think that's a clean trend line. So three touches, bang on, bang on, bang on. So that's
yeah.
definitely a good trend
Yeah.
line. Now, obviously, if I extend that, we've got to decide. So obviously, this candle here breaks it. Bar replay is one of them. So that point there is where that obviously liquidity is taken,
Yeah.
and obviously technically the zone is all the way from this point to the very low, but possibly here because this also is sweeping. So
Yeah.
from that low to there is very likely where there'll be an imbalance that wants to be filled. So I mean, this is why I always use bar replay to try and figure it out. So from that point there, obviously it's bar replayed at the point it takes it. We would then come lower to see if mark the imbalances.
Yeah.
So that's possibly an entry zone.
When you say an entry zone, because bear in mind we've then got to wait for how you trade, right? Well,
Yeah,
what you're teaching,
yeah.
you're going to get that pullback. But let's say we do get the pullback into that 15-minute point of interest, but then
Hmm.
you've got to wait for the 1 minute
1 minute, yeah.
1 minute to break. So it could play into your zone, but you're not setting your limits yet, are you? You're still
No,
waiting for that 1 minute afterwards.
no. But if we're saying this is a 15-minute zone here that we was obviously just marking, then
Yeah.
obviously at that point as it takes this liquidity, because obviously this might be the 1 minute structure, it might not be, it could be a
Yeah.
bit lower. But obviously, especially with like the trend line and the sweep. Yeah, I'd be very keen at because you could take multiple entries as well. So if the uh obviously I normally do the 4 hour, the 15, and the 1 minute structure. So if the 4 hours in a pullback and it hits a zone, if the 1 minute hits that zone, fills the lowest imbalance, I'm talking buys, if it fills the lowest imbalance that I wanted to see filled, and then does a 1 minute breaker structure, then obviously you've got the 4 hour and the 1 minute telling you that they are possibly long. So technically the 15's not yet turned, but you can still take a trade from
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Yeah.
The only difference I would sort of say at that point is you're probably not going to want to hold beyond the 15-minute high, just in case. Obviously, it
Yeah.
comes and mitigates the
Yeah.
15 minute the 15-minute bullish high, obviously because it would have made a few swings down or whatever.
Yeah.
Um,
Which is still fine because it's
but
still going to
yeah,
be it's a 15-minute high on such a small stop loss trade.
yes,
It's still going to
yeah,
be 20, 30, 40
yeah,
yard,
oh
especially
yeah,
on these,
yeah,
especially on
yeah,
the indices where the moves are big. I think the
yeah,
next move from this pullback is if it does do what it's supposed to do, the next move on this after this pullback should be
yeah.
create the new all-time high again.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think it's possibly played out. I think me and George stuffed up on our zone. So
Yeah.
this is like an additional entry to what we was looking for. I think we've missed the boat, but
Yeah.
yeah, all this now is like additional entries. So when I'm not, I'll show you.
Yeah, because I seen what you and George had marked.
Yeah,
Say, but I just had it marked that bit higher than what you guys had.
yeah,
Like I said, I got the 4 hour. It actually tapped my sorry, give me the 15-minute break, and then now
Yeah,
it's on its retracement, so to speak.
yeah,
So I'll be watching it next week, but then
yeah, yeah.
I'm just looking at hopefully a pullback into the 15 I've got marked, and then
Hmm.
reaction from that. That's what I'm looking
Yeah,
for. But we'll
yeah.
see. We'll see. But
Well,
I mean,
I
in
mean, this
terms
is
of
all
time
time high
frame,
now, anyway, isn't it?
I think I think it took it this week and literally
Yeah,
took it and then went down again.
yeah,
So I'm expecting the pullback. Well, to be fair,
yeah,
the news is the Trump tariff thing's obviously been the catalyst to push it back down. So
yeah.
I'm hoping it will retrace deeper, but you never know with the indices, do you? Because
No, no.
they just switch bullish again sometimes without fucking finding any reason why.
Yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah,
just like fucking out its turn.
yeah, yeah. Well,
It's
always
because it's
lines
so
up.
fundamentally driven, isn't it? So
Yeah,
if Trump
but
farts,
but it
it
always
changes
lines up with
direction.
something major happening. Do you know? I think it's all pre-decided because, like you say, there was
Oh
a
yeah,
like I said, obviously we looked at US30 that early on, like that lined up with a sell. The only thing we didn't get was the breaker structure that I wanted, but that doesn't mean it's not the move,
yeah,
and others wouldn't have caught it. Um, but yeah, I mean, obviously I marked this green zone and said that would be an entry zone there. Obviously, you can see it's tapped it there nicely and gone. So another entry there. But like I said, me and George was actually hoping it would come down a touch further. But I mean, it still might, but I think there's still some imbalance in here. It just obviously this one here filled the market open gap. It's come down lower still and has broken to the upside. So yeah, but like I said, that could have been the actual entry that me and George was looking for there.
yeah. Would have been a nice one, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would have. Yeah, yeah.
It's always easy to find them though after prices played
Oh,
out.
100%. Yeah,
I bar replay some of these. I did one on DAX the other day, right? I bar replayed something, had a look through it, and I marked it up, and it tapped it perfect, and it was like 150 R, and I was
yeah,
like, it's just like flipping out. It's like, do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
but don't get me wrong. I mean, I hadn't seen where price had went. I literally cut the price back to. Um, I cut price back and then worked from that. So I didn't mark it where price played to or anything like that. I didn't
yeah,
put
yeah,
a blue line across my screen. I
yeah.
just looked at structure and I thought, right, this is where,
Hmm.
I had a good look into it and I thought, right, this is where it's going to play out of.
Yeah, yeah,
And then as I played bar replay on 1 hour just to move it forward fast, it
yeah,
tapped it perfect and went. And I was like, fucking hell. I was like, that is.
yeah.
I was
Yeah,
like,
just need to do that live now.
yeah, that's it. Yeah, definitely, mate. So.
Yeah,
I mean, Jesus, I was like 150 yards. Jesus Christ.
yeah,
And to be fair, the move that I marked happened in a couple of days. It wasn't like a week or a 2 week
yeah,
hold.
yeah, yeah,
Ridiculous.
yeah.
I think it was about 3 days, which is nothing really for that return.
Yeah, no, yeah, it's definitely easy. Obviously, bar replay. Obviously, because you've got
Hmm.
obviously it's played out and whatever, and I suppose you can get a little bit of a clue.
Well,
But
because it's played out, I'd obviously knew that I knew that
there was
price
a
had
trade
gone up.
there, sort of
I
thing.
knew the
Yeah,
price had gone up. So
yeah,
straight away, I was drawn to looking at the buy areas because I could see
yeah,
the price has already gone up. But I was trying to find out where it reacted from to go up without
yeah,
drawing a blue line, without drawing a horizontal ray
yeah,
across,
hmm
and looking into it. And yeah, I do like a couple of them, but yeah, it's just a nightmare. Like when you mark on back test and you think, why the fuck could I not catch that fucker?
yeah,
How have I just seen it now? How have I
yeah,
just seen it now?
yeah, yeah. It is. But then obviously that leads to if you're obviously we all start off not being able to catch anything live because we're not trained to as such, if you like, if that makes sense. But then obviously you so obviously getting back to my 4:15:1, there's a process to it, and the process is fairly simple. Like obviously you're marking up zones that take major lows and things, or break structures and things, take liquidity. So it's quite a mechanical system as such. So obviously you can see there's a point of interest. It's done that. It's broken a low. You draw another box. Once it comes back, you just waiting to do the same on the 1 minute. It's and the back testing gives you the eye to them possibly. Obviously, when you bar replay, it's not live situations, but it's sort of in between live and not live, if that makes sense. I know it's not live, but
Yep.
you're playing out candles in a live-ish situation, but obviously we're going to play it faster than
Yeah.
real life. But obviously that's the I think that's the bridge between just going on a chart and then just marking something up and going, yes, it sort of works, that this system works, or whatever, and then obviously by replaying it's like is that bridge between full on just marking it as all the candles are on the screen and live situation. Because there's obviously there's a big difference between the two, and obviously by replaying
Yeah.
with a blank screen is about the closest you're going to get to that.
Yeah, I've marked some fun, like great, like gold and all sorts. I've marked some fantastic trades after they played out.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
yeah,
and I'm just thinking, fuck me, I need like three of these a year.
yeah,
Jesus,
yeah,
it'll change your life
yeah,
potentially. Um, so yeah, but
yeah,
I don't. Obviously, I don't trade. I don't. I'm not really looked deep into your system, so to speak. I don't trade exactly on your system.
yeah,
Um, but I still always look at structure. But I see structure different to you,
yeah,
obviously, and George sees structure different to you, doesn't he? So everyone has their own little.
yeah,
It's what gets me with the way you mark structure is like the only difference is like for me when a 15 minute when a new 15-minute low has been created,
yeah,
I then mark it from the most recent high.
yeah,
Whereas sometimes I look at your structure and your 15-minute high from a low can be quite far away. And I
yeah,
think, well,
yeah,
and I look at it and think, well, there's been a couple of breaks in between that. So
yeah.
that's the only difference, really. Like,
Yeah, so I don't know. Let me see if I can find something a bit cleaner than that because that was a mess
yeah,
for a
that
while. Um,
because I mean, I would think that once it's taken a low,
mhm,
taken a new low, then you would go back to the nearest high that's to cause that take.
yeah,
Whereas, like I say, on your structure, sometimes you go quite far to the left for your 15-minute
yeah.
high. Like that's the only difference, really.
Yeah, I think what I mean, I don't know if I don't know. I need to write them all down again, but obviously so we've got a 15-minute going on here. I don't know if this sort of is similar to what you're sort of thinking, but my one of my rules for
Yeah,
structure
so that
is
would be structure there. That but your 15-minute there would be for me from where you are. It's took
yeah,
that low. That
yeah,
would be the high. So I would have that.
yeah.
Uh, I would have that up there. That's correct.
Yes.
And-
So one of the rules is obviously so from here we obviously put a low, put in a high, low, high. Obviously we've
yeah,
taken it again. So this is basically
yeah,
like George's
that's
entry
quite
from last
clean to
week.
be fair.
It's
It's quite
very,
clean
very, very
looking.
clean. So,
Yeah,
but there's a obviously the rule is the same for all time frames on the relevant structure, but there's there's maybe like a case for um why things react from certain areas over other areas. So, like to me, I would say technically this high here is a internal high, because it doesn't it doesn't
yeah,
take the high, and it does eventually lead to taking the low. But I mean, I suppose this low, this is internal because this is a better one. So obviously we turn bullish, we pull a low in, we then don't take the high. So if price took the high, then this would be in a bullish structure the most. I think people would call it maybe a protected low, but it's basically
yeah,
the external liquidity, which would mean didn't want that one. Yeah, if price then took this high, then I wouldn't expect this low to have been taken because it doesn't do anything there. Yeah, so that's just internal. So,
yeah,
but obviously because it takes the previous there, I would expect that this is definitely going to get taken at some point. But I would until it's done it, I'd sort of anticipate that price is going to continue maybe to come low in to fill in something that it wants to fill. So if you're saying that that's like a more recent, you might say that's a more recent high, but because of my previous structure here, until that high is taken, this is
Yeah,
me. This is still my live low, if that makes
yeah,
sense.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I get that. Yeah, but I mean, it's quite clean on, quite clean on this. So
Yeah, yeah, it's
yeah. I mean, DAX is a bit of a nightmare to be fair, because there's when I was looking at it currently, because there's so much fucking choppy price action where consolidation, etc., and a bit like
yeah,
I mean, that's quite clean looking.
yeah.
Sure, he caught a banger there, didn't he?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I still think Dax is clean, but I don't know. But I suppose that's why, because of the rules I'm using, maybe. So, like all this in here is irrelevant to me because obviously it's trending upwards from here. There's a high there, there's a low there, there's a high. So until this price leg is effectively the live structure, just let me turn that blue bar replay it as well. To there. So that high there, that 15-minute low. I know we're on the 4 hour at the minute, but it's so I can fit more in the screen. Delete that. So until that high and low is taken, like all this is just nonsense for me.
Yeah,
I mean, it might take an internal low, which is you could possibly argue is the 1 minute low, which I think is the case. But as a 15-minute structure, until that low or that high is taken, which obviously it's taken here, then at that point, as soon as it takes that, obviously, I think it goes a little bit lower. Once price passes that blue line, then this is the live structure. Until this decides it wants to pull back, then obviously it's going to continue bearish. Price then, I'll just play a couple more candles so we can. Right, so it obviously we know that's the way the low's made because that's where I've got something drawn to, the structure low. So once this is puts that low in effectively, we'll probably get a 1 minute break in there somewhere, on the lower time frame. But this is now the live structure because it's taken this low here.
yeah,
So this is the live one. So if we're going to continue bearish, obviously it can pull up and do whatever it wants to do. Obviously here it pulls real high, but and I mean this is why I've got the 15-minute zone drawn because obviously it break causes the 15-minute low to be taken. It pulls back up, does a 1 minute break, gives a possible sell, I believe. I don't think I've got it marked, but yeah, because this is then the new live leg. Obviously, it's shown us that it's possibly turned bearish 15, so there's a very good chance it's going to pull up somewhere in this top, like I say, 25%, and give a lower time frame confirmation of a possible sell. But like at that point, say you're not expecting this high to then be taken because it has told us it's possibly bearish now. It told us that it is bearish, which I'm assuming it plays some candles. Puts in obviously a new lower high. Obviously, we don't know it's a lower high at that point because obviously it's still
still
one
better.
minute, still 1 minute uh, bullish at that point. Yeah, there we get a 1 minute break to the downside. You know, so 15-minute turned first, told us, come back, mitigated whatever it's done in there. Then it shows us 1 minute's bearish. So whatever it pulls back into in this, I'm guessing, is possibly the entry we should be looking for. Yeah, because like I say, at this point, that's the low that puts in the high and the 1 minute. Obviously, I've got the green zigzag there. So as soon as it breaks that low, for me, it would be obviously if I was watching it, get a sell on. So the like as with structure is because it sort of tells us where it wants to go first. We've just got to be able to spot the actual structure as it's played out live. So obviously, I know it's difficult. It really is really difficult. It's there's like two or three rules for structure, but it's probably the hardest thing to actually
Yeah,
lane, but there's no other way other than going and drawing it out on charts and things, and then going, oh yeah, that actually makes sense to me, and then you can start with bar replay or whatever, you can start looking at it to try and figure it out live. So we're always, obviously in live situations, we're always trying to anticipate what it's going to do. But if you was able to say spot this trend line, or trend line, not trend line, this structure, and then it takes that low, it hadn't quite tapped into what you obviously for this buy set that we was talking about earlier, it hasn't quite reached that or whatever. It breaks the 15, it comes back, mitigates something. It shows 1 minute breaks a downside. If you can catch an entry because you've had two time frames telling you what direction it thinks it wants to go, this obviously this is a major part of it, is because if this breaks the 15 and then it comes back up, changes 1 minute. If this was if this had tapped into summer, obviously it was after, it was very close to it, it fills the market open gap, but it's not the actual move that it's after because it comes back lower still. But obviously, like I say, it tells us here. So yeah, it's damn hard to spot, but there's like I say, there's three rules, with
Yeah.
this, that this was the relevant 15-minute structure for this point until it broke here. So, if price was at this point and coming into this zone here, you'd be well within your rights to go mark that 15-minute zone there. And if price comes into that and gives you a 1 minute break to the upside, because obviously you're 4 hours bullish, you're 15 minutes bullish, it come into here and then give a 1 minute break to the upside,
Yeah.
which it doesn't, it smashes through it. But there'd have been no risk on the table at that point because you're still waiting for the 1 minute.
Yeah.
So, but you'd have been well within your rights to go on if that gives you a 1 minute break to the upside. Then
Look, mark
it's
your entry
yeah,
zone.
get your entry zone on and go for it. You'd be well within your rights. I don't think that's a proper trend line now. It's not good enough.
Do you? I know your trend lines are three touches, but do you
Yeah.
do you, do you trade? Do you use equal highs or equal lows as your liquidity, or does it have to be three touches for you?
No, equal highs and lows are fine, mate. The only,
So if it only tapped it twice, then you're fine
yeah,
for
but
that.
the same thing again though, mate, is that I don't think equal highs happen that often. I think there's a set there to be fair, but again, they've got to be bang on.
They've got to be bang on equal. Yeah,
Yeah, so I don't actually think,
that's slightly tapped it. I still think that's
yeah, it's not quite. So I don't actually think there's that many equal highs. That do happen, but so
yeah,
my thing with, like, I mean, we're on the 4 hour stat, looks relatively level, but I'm sure on the 1 minute it's probably
yeah, yeah, yeah.
miles out. But if you're if you're willing to accept that they're equal highs and they're not level, like bang on, then what's to stop you from marking any
Any two.
any two random wicks,
Yeah, yeah.
you
Okay,
know?
yeah.
So we're just all with it is all I'm trying to do is eliminate uh what's the word I'm looking for?
Yeah, because it could
Guesswork.
be.
I'm trying to
Yeah,
eliminate ifs and buts. So yeah, if it's bang on, I know it's liquidity. If I've got to go, oh, it might be, it might not be. Like, if you're risking your money, surely it's just easy to go, yeah, that is definitely level.
yeah,
I think I'd accept that. It's a pixel or two, on my screen. In reality, I'd probably accept that, but I don't think I'd be accepting much more. As you zoom in, like you say, you see it's a bit.
yeah.
But yeah, it's just a case of. But that's why I'm super strict in how I mark it, is because yes, it might technically be okay, but trying to eliminate the ifs and buts.
I think it's going to be an interesting week for when I say an interesting week, I mean I think it's going to be a highly, especially with the big drops that we've had. I think it's going to be quite some volatility in the markets this week.
Yeah, yeah.
I
So
don't know about forex pairs, but I mean indices and gold as well. I think it could be quite volatile.
Yeah, so this is at all-time high, in it. I think these are all-time highs.
Yeah, everything,
Yeah, everything, isn't
every,
it?
everything has took all-time highs. It's just had a ridiculous drop. Like
Yeah.
uh, gold had that pullback, but I mean, it's already starting to get eaten up straight away. Buyers are jumping
Yeah.
back in.
Yeah, yeah, I
The,
mean,
the
there's
structure
I
on
don't
gold
like
is
all-time
miles.
highs, you know.
The structure on gold, for how you look at it, is fucking miles away.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like the pullback that's required, because I've obviously been marking it up, and I was like, Jesus Christ, like, the pullback on gold is ridiculous.
I need it to back there, I think, mate,
Yeah,
to
yeah,
actually have any sort of meaning to me, but
you're like 500 odd pips away.
yeah.
Fucking ridiculous.
Catch a sell downs, that'd be nice.
This place is so bullish, unbelievable, mate.
Yeah.
Mad.
But I found like obviously your indices and your metals are a bit more, like I say, the more that they're all a bit like that, do you know?
Yeah,
Whereas I find that the forex pairs do tend to follow a form of structure better.
yep.
And I suppose
Yeah, well,
because,
they don't have. I mean, they do have good bullish breaks, but they don't have these ridiculous bullish breaks where it's
yeah,
just like, because the currency doesn't gain that much strength over
no,
another currency so fast. Do you know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah, yeah,
Whereas gold and the indices, obviously, they gain relative strength or weakness
yeah,
very fast.
yeah,
Can do.
yeah. Well, I think I suppose that's mainly because is like currencies. Obviously, we're looking at GBP, JPY. Like countries want stability with their currency, as stable as can be, sort of thing. So if you just get like I don't know something that just absolutely flies, like we've just looked at on US 30 and things like that, it's not great for the country, is it? Do you know, like, and probably wars would start. Whereas if it's the price of gold, like countries aren't really going to starve if the price of gold rockets. But if the pound like falls out of its ass, then
Yeah.
yeah, people are going to start wars over that because what else they're going to do to get the strength back to the currency, sort of thing. Do you know, you're going to have to invade like America or something, or whoever's got more gold, I guess. Israel, but So yeah, I think that's maybe there's a bit more stability in the currency for that reason because it's just
Yep. No, I get that.
yeah, I do think it's backed by like I say countries need stability, and if one country fucks over another because of currency, there will be war. So I suppose that's why it's a more stable. I don't actually know, but that's what I think of when I think of why the because I mean if you look at all this, they don't actually move that much, do you know?
Yeah, not only that. I mean, if a country's got a currency that's been heavily affected, they try to do something their best to rectify that,
Yeah,
the reason for it. Whereas, no one's stopping gold from flying up,
yeah,
because it's not actually the US dollar that's weakening. It's just the gold strength.
yeah,
It's just, whereas, for example, if I don't know, US dollar and Great British pound or something, if the arse was falling out of the pound, you would like to hope that the government would be doing something to,
yeah,
well, current government, I don't know, but you'd like to think that, the government or the banks or whoever it is, they would be doing something to make sure that the value of that pound
yeah.
doesn't keep dropping at such a fast rate. They're going to be
100%.
like, right, what have we got to do to sort this out? And then
Yeah,
whether it's an interest rate change or et cetera,
yeah,
they'll do something to slow that down, so to
yeah,
speak,
yeah,
the process, hopefully, and then try and, because effectively that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to turn every country wants their currency to be strong,
yeah, yeah,
so
yeah,
they're going to do everything in their power to make sure that the currency stays as strong as it can.
yeah, definitely.
They see it fucking up, and hopefully you'd like to think that they've sorted it out, but
Yeah, I think this is
Assets are
a
getting bought
so
up
go.
by the rich. That assets are getting bought up by the rich. There's a equality shift happening towards capital is attracting capital. It's kind of through a period of relative equality. We're going back to much more inequality. So
Mm,
basically, rich people who've got spare money and can cover their living costs then buy assets.
Yeah.
Yeah, assets are fundamentally gold and property and blue chip stocks.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's fundamentally what it is. Whereas currency is a different deal. It's the trading in currency is more to do with businesses moving money about between different parts of their business. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. This might be a good
gold's
example.
an asset.
Yeah. Well, it's a physical asset as well. So
Yeah,
yeah, I think that's the
and indices are the same because an index, the DAX is the 40 strongest
yeah.
companies in Germany, which is one of the world's primary industrialized countries. So
Yeah.
they're pretty stable.
Yeah. Well, like I say that I think because the obviously US there is there backed by companies and obviously the world's biggest companies, tech and
Yeah,
whatever. Like I say currencies are not really backed by anything. Obviously,
right.
it's just printed paper in it or whatever, you know.
They're not an asset in the same way that
No,
shares
no,
in a company are asset. Yeah,
yeah, and that's why, like I said, I don't think the currencies can fluctuate that much.
yeah,
Yeah, because it's just not an asset.
yeah.
It's not a physical asset.
No,
Well, if they
No.
if they moved and dropped like the indices do, there'd be some serious problems going on
Yeah,
in the world somewhere because the rate that I mean the rate that what the indices drop at will move at is just ridiculous. I
yeah.
mean, for example, I know it doesn't sound like much, but I think I can't remember if it fell the other day. Anyway, there's been periods where like the Nasdaq, for example, has lost 10% value in a day, which is fucking
Yeah,
huge. Which is
gold's up
big.
50% in a year, isn't it?
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
know
that's
that's
vast.
crazy, isn't it? I mean,
That's a
yeah.
terrific amount of money. You actually
50%.
look, because that's the problem with backtesting your system, Tom, is you go back a year and all
Yeah,
the stops are different sizes because gold's only 2,300, not 4,000.
yeah, I know.
Yeah.
If you go back, like I went, I just as a random test, I went back like tw pre like 2015, and
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God, I did about 3 weeks. I was like, I'll give up. This is fucking dog shit.
Mm, yeah. I think this is a good point that we was talking about earlier, Tom. Do you know about you saying about the most recent relevant high?
Yeah.
So obviously I've got this, I mean, I marked this up a while ago. Obviously I had this high here marked,
Yep,
but that's internal for me. So
yep,
this is effectively irrelevant because obviously there's a low somewhere back here, puts in a high,
hasn't
puts
taken
in a
a high.
low. This doesn't do anything.
Okay,
Obviously this pulls back,
right.
don't take the low.
Yep.
So pretty
You keep
much,
finding the cleanest charts, Lee.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I get that.
yeah. But
So it
obviously
has,
this obviously fills all the imbalance from in here. So this price only becomes relevant obviously because it does eventually lead to obviously this high being taken. So something in here is the cause of it. This trend line. So good reason for point of interest is just hit now. Um, but yeah, so this is possible. Although it's internal this low, because we're looking for imbalance, it becomes relevant for that for a possible entry or whatever. Obviously, not trading the DXY. I don't think you can, but structure wise, obviously the lows this point over here, and obviously it puts a high in here. So actually, on the higher time frame, for me, the DXY is still bullish, although it's been coming down for a while. Well,
yeah,
yeah, that'll be an even bigger time frame. It's technically bearish on and even on the weekly, I guess, because it'll be a high, low, high, low, high. So I'm expecting it to come down. I will expect it to come down because we've got let's do that daily structure there. So purple's the actual higher time frame. Red obviously is so is a obviously pulls back there, low, high, low, high. So technically red structure still bullish. but obviously the higher time frame above that we are bearish, and obviously this is the high there. We've mitigated something very high up, so I don't see it coming higher than that, to be honest. So this obviously this is weekly. Whatever, put that in. There'll be in it. Obviously, this red structure is the 4 hour, I think. I'll go on the 8 just so we can fit more in the screen. Look at daily. So high. So smaller time frame. So I'm just pick a structure here. So that puts the low in. Take the high. Possibly that. I'm just going to go from there. Can we break it there? So possibly there, break there, below this, whatever time frame you want to call this. Put a low in. High, low. So there's a very good chance this might pull back and then continue down. Yeah, I think the DX will, I think it's going to be pull back from rough, pretty much where it is now. Obviously, I don't know, but structure wise, it makes sense for it to see this takes this trend line. It eventually leads to a higher time frame. It makes sense to me. Obviously, zooming in, we would want it to possibly take that high to confirm it. So want it to break that high, come back, mitigate something, and then do a couple of swings on whatever to that rough. If that's where it's going to turn from, then obviously we'll get something like that going on. But like that's 3 time frames. Obviously, I normally only work with 3. You can add more. There is obviously more time frames, but higher the more you add, obviously the higher you're going to get. So like, it might mean that you're waiting weeks and months for anything to actually play out, but and obviously we can't trade the DXY anyway. So, but this, like I said, this is something that I would maybe anticipate will happen with the dollar.
Time will tell.
Time will tell. Something like that. That's my prediction. Yeah. So yeah, real high time frames, bearish. Whatever's just about bullish, but possibly pulling back. Right. Is there any questions, guys? Because I'm going to
No,
call it
all
there.
good,
If
mate.
not, I'll call it there then, peeps. Cheers for jumping
Good.
on.
I'll leave
Thank
you.
you, Lee.
I'll see you in the week. I
Cheers,
won't
guys.
see you, but I'll
Chat in a week, guys.
chat to you in the week.
See you, boys.
See you in a bit, bye.